Sorry for the long post. Probably not supernatural, but deeply unsettling. Be me in middle school. Family moves in next door. Single dad and son close to my age. Actual waterhead. Like, huge swollen hydrocephalus head. Shit hurts to look at. Also clearly mentally disabled. Afkersahashamishul.wav. Dad is the most Bassetish man possible. 100-pound chinless pube beard and jorts, sounds like Mandark from Dexter's Lab. Somehow they become family friends. Forget my key at home one day. Call mom, she says to wait at Casa Waterhead until she gets home. I'd rather fucking diabutike. Hydro's dad lets me in and is really friendly, gives me iced tea. You don't mind if Tyler watches his medicine, do you? What? Waterhead is sitting in the middle of the living room on the floor, making noises. Dad puts in this shitty burn DVD for him, and he gets really quiet. Toaster quality footage of some kind of local theater production, or, like, one of those on-set live-action kids shows. Farm. Background, actors in farm clothes, dancing around, prancing and singing and spinning. They've all got huge, prop waterheads on. Like big, inflated bald caps. They're singing this song, like Come On Down, to Big Head Junction. Come on down, and grow yourself a head. Waterhead is watching so intently. Look over. Dad is just sitting in his armchair with a tumbler of whiskey, just watching his deformed son watch this fucking creepy Big Head Junction Candle Cove-ass TV show. Mom finally gets home, and I can leave. Thank fucking God. JPEG. Worst part was, there's photos of their family in the house. Dad, mom, deceased, and Tyler the waterhead. His head was normal in the photographs. Never go over there again. They move about a year later. I guess maybe his dad found some local access TV show online for kids with waterheads and thought it might make his son feel better. As for the photos, I dunno. Photoshops, maybe? He never really seemed ashamed of his son though, so not sure if. That's it. Be me, mid-20s. Live alone in what used to be my grandparents' house before they moved away. Been living here for a few months. Really enjoy listening to heavy metal music and the like. I instinctively always get up and dance thrash around headbang to really good riffs and grooves. One night I'm moving around to a song when I see it for a brief second. At the doorframe. An roundish, head-shaped object at around head level at the edge of the doorless doorframe going into a storage room laundry room. Pic related, a really shitty drawing of what I thought I saw. It was blurry and not a lot of details, probably because I was moving around like an autistic spaz. Because I'm thrashing around I don't really get a good chance to stop and look by, literally a second passes and I look back. It's fucking gone. Double take. Go and investigate. Storage room laundry has no windows or other ways out, and my computer's set up in a way, if somebody went in there I would have definitely saw them. Make sure there's literally nothing at head level that I could have mistook for that head-shaped thing, like a box or a shadow of the wall. Nothing. Don't get easily paranoid, so I brush it off as maybe my long hair getting in the way and my mind playing tricks. About a month passes, completely forget about that incident. I'm doing laundry in that storage room. Behind me would be the door frame, leading to my computer area nerd shit, where I generally listen to music and shitpost on the internet. And on my computer speakers I'm blasting music. As I'm done doing laundry I quickly turn around, half dancing to my music. See the fucking object again. But this time I'm not thrashing around, so I actually get a good look for what might be a second or two. It's very clearly a head, I think, with facial features and longish hair. But the facial features are fucked up, like a reversed bulge effect from paint. Flight response. Oh shit, and turn my head away. Look back again. It's gone. Be me, grow up in house that is legitimately haunted. Story. 1950s family has 2 kids. One kid dies from being hit by a car, the other one starts a small fire in the house and burns to death while parents are at the neighbor's house. Father leaves, mother stays in the house and eventually commits suicide. Her ghost can be heard going up and down the stairs hallway at all times during the day. She never does anything bad. Afraid of her for like a year, was 6 when we moved to the house. Fast forward, I'm 27, parents buy house in Florida for retirement prep, they move, I get the old house. Let a longtime friend rent out a room in semi-secret while he gets back on his feet. Live far from the house, don't visit for 3 months. He finally moves out, I go to check on the house. Walk in, immediately feel something is wrong. As I inspect the house, there's zero sign of the mom. About to leave, and I hear the basement door slam hard as fuck. Ask my friend if anything happened. This dumb digger was afraid of the ghost, so he tried multiple remedies to get rid of her, which included using a Ouija board at least 10 times and inviting over his BPDGF to perform Wiccan plus black magic rituals once a week. Tells me he would only go to the house to grab stuff occasionally, wouldn't even stay the night there, crashed at his GF's house because he would have night terrors, nightmares, and the ghost would slam itself into his bedroom door. Basically never talks to me again, gives me a shitty apology for effectively ruining the house on a spiritual level. Went back yesterday, heard her taking footsteps down the hallway, but they weren't the usual footsteps. Different pace, but also the steps sounded heavier. Walk over to the back of the house where the steps were, to the old children's room, the one that got burned. Can hear a weird, rubbery screeching sound coming from the room. Very faint. Open the door, get on the floor. Everybody walk the dinosaur. Nothing too special, but my old house has had tons of weird events. Be me, about 10 years old. Family just moved into a renovated 110-yo house. Belonged to the family, but was basically abandoned for 40 years before my parents fixed it up. New to me house, so I'm scared to sleep alone. My 15-yo sister has always been sensitive, and she is a bit scared too. She volunteers to sleep in my room with me for a few months until we get used to the house. About my sister, she previously had seen weird phenomena such as a ghost hand wearing a ring appearing under my parents' bed. She heard demonic-sounding voices telling her that they would destroy our family. She heard the voice of a little girl at the foot of her bed. I have no younger sisters. Hear lots of odd noises, but could easily discount them as the house settling, etc. We would turn on the attic fan when the temperature allows, because we have no air conditioner in our room, and the noise covers up the sounds at night. One night, I'm awoken suddenly out of a dead sleep by my sister screaming and crying. Apparently something was sitting on her. Said she wasn't paralyzed because she tries to push it off, but she doesn't want it to fall on me. One side of the bed was against the wall, so she tries to push it over me to the floor. We turn on the light, of course there's nothing there, and my dad comes in and desperately tries to come up with an excuse to explain it that will comfort us. Doesn't work, we sleep in the floor of our parents' room. This happened several times. Something freaky would happen and we'd go to sleep in my parents' floor at like 3 a.m. French francs to a few years later. Be me, 12 or 13. One night there's a random power outage, whole neighborhood as far as we can see. My mom scrambles in the pitch black to find the candles and oil lantern. Suddenly both of my sisters start freaking out. They claim that they can see blacker than black shadows of bats, cats and other animals around the house. 1. Here's something that's been bothering me for a bit. Just wanted to share. Be me, college freshman. Moved to a decently rural part of the country, near the coast, but old-growth forests for hours around. A friend, Jay, wanted to check out the dunes for her birthday. Had an uneventful dinner and headed out. The road to the beach went through miles of farmland and ended on these rolling sand dunes. Few farmhouses along the way, but otherwise pretty far from town. At least it was a full moon, so there was a good amount of light. On the drive out, a few of my friends claimed they saw movement in the bushes next to the road. I didn't think anything of it. Figured it was us city slickers getting spooked by animals. We ended up at the end of the road in a parking lot. It was just us and an RV there since it was pretty late at night. Pic related. We were parked in the back near the bushes, the RV was up front. It's a pretty popular place during the day. As we were getting out, another friend, S, saw something scurry out from the bushes and along the dune. It was following the ridge out towards the RV. She pulls out her flashlight and tries to get a good view of it. Just before she sees it though, a hippie-looking dude shouts to us from the RV. "Don't worry, I'm a human." Now, I don't remember hearing him getting out of the car. Maybe I was just preoccupied, I dunno. It was like he was just there all of a sudden. None of us are vibing with that very specific comment though, and all eyes were on him. He just shoots the shit for a minute. Talks about how he was working at a winery down south, and since it's one of our birthdays he could give us a bottle. We all declined and power walked past him, over the dunes towards the beach. The shadow creatures became a recurring thing. We had no pets of any kind in the house, and the shadows were often of non-animal shapes anyway. My mom saw shadow men multiple times, even described the hat man trope despite having never heard of it before. French Franks to my teenaged years. Be me, 16. Anything witchy strictly verboten in our house. Parents had even banned Zelda on NES when we were younger because of magic. Nevertheless, I'm fascinated by paranormal stuff and stay up late reading all about ghosts, UFOs, conspiracies. The usual stuff that was talked about on Austrian shillings in 2004. Despite this and being awake alone most nights, I rarely experience anything I can't explain away pretty easily. Become a bit of a skeptic just to make myself less uneasy despite consuming all this paranormal content. My oldest sister is married and has moved out by this time. We're preparing to go on a family vacation, so she and my brother-in-law are sleeping in the living room, Bill on the floor in front of the sofa. I'm sitting at the computer in the next room, not reading anything spooky or X-related that I recall. My Bill appears at the peripheral of my vision, kind of freaks me out because I wasn't expecting it. He's giving me a weird look, asks me if I'm okay. I say sure and ask what's up. He says he wakes up staring at the ceiling and sees a flash of bright white light, which glides along the top of the ceiling and floats over my head in my chair. Kinda freaked, but skeptical me thinks maybe he dreamed it or something. Over the next few years, 3 different people independently report a similar phenomenon while sleeping on or in front of the sofa. Dad wakes up with a bright white light over top of him, jumps up and yells loud enough to wake the whole house. Sister wakes up, sees the bright white light jump into her chest, and she jumps up crying while trying to brush off whatever it was, thinking it was still on her. 2. Be me. Autistic virgin loser. 0 real connections to anyone. Just want to feel loved. MFW. Lurk suction out of curiosity. Read about other Anons' experiences. They're literally living my dream. WTF, why can't it be me? MFW. Try letter method multiple times. Beg Lilith. Radio silence. Just want to be comforted and loved by Dommy mommy suck. MFW. Be me. Learn that brains are like computers. If an electron is sent to the right part of the brain, it starts other electrical processes in the brain, allowing for things like telepathy to exist because of how observation scatters and forms electrons with different techniques. This is the basis of my theory of magic. One of the first spells I learned was a ping to detect if I could communicate with a mind. Pings work as expected, signal sent, signal received. Eventually get to the point where I can suggest things in people's heads and they'll think it was their idea. Realize others could probably do this to me if it's as real as I feel it is. Realize what antivirus does by encrypting its core files and reviewing every file with a database of what's allowed on the unit. Make a similar system in my brain, name them in-out processes. Basically, anytime access is granted or requested, I send anyone trying to get into a waiting room with layers of subconscious protecting the encrypted data inside my brain. First layer is an infinite forest. Works like a dream, you walk in the forest and get lost, but physically you're just making the placeholders of a forest while you walk through it. If you arrive at a tower, you've passed the first layer of subconscious I put on my core self. There are about 4 other layers, but I won't post them here. Ever since I started doing this, my mental health has been a shining beacon of composure and understanding. Be me. Have the same problem. Waking nightmare lasts forever. Waking dream lasts even longer. Infinite experience in life means. Wait for it. Infinite boredom around others. Can't feel or love normally again. Everyone I remember is gone. Post on X. Welcome to 4chan. Verification not required.